In short, I am a realist. In my mind, a secure grip on reality is one of the most excellent attributes someone can possess. In my philosophical ruminations, I strive to consider every standpoint, but only to accept those which can withstand the circumstances of reality. In this way, I consider myself a disciple of Kant, who managed to find a stable middle ground in the ongoing stalemate between rationalism and empiricism. However, a great man once said, "The mark of an educated mind is the ability to entertain an idea without accepting it." Thus, in the deluge of ideologies that flood the ether, I oftentimes find myself gravitating towards Nietzsche. Although I generally find extreme ideologies to be abhorrent, there is a certain elegance to the absolute rejection of meaning. Of course, from a pragmatic standpoint, meaning must exist, given the presence of human sentience. There is ostensible meaning in the variety that we ourselves create, as the human mind is the architect of the very construct of meaning. Therefore, meaning exists precisely where we believe it does, and consequently is subjective. Even Nietzsche himself acknowledged this to an extent, saying, quote, "To live is to suffer, to survive is to find some meaning in the suffering." Quote. This is the conclusion I come to when I view Nietzsche under a Kantian lens, and this is the methodology by which I try to abide, because it is worse to look into the void of nihilism under duress than to look of your own volition. With regards to politics, I hold both extremes in equal contempt, and I hold the selfsame contempt for those who view we centrists as an evil, higher even than their direct political counterpart. However, I tend to be more tolerant of those who lean farther right, simply because of their economic policies, which have been historically tested and proven effective, while those who lean left teeter on the edge of socialism and ultimately collapse, as we have seen time and again in history and are currently witnessing in Sweden. The fact of the matter is, extremism begets close-mindedness, and this rejection of all other ideals is what spawns conflict, and the hatred of moderates so prevalent in today's political spectrum is a symptom of this cognitive stubbornness. Both wings stand a risk of devolution into their logical extremes, and so I make it my business to criticize both sides where I see fit. In closing, I might add that freedom of speech is a virtue we cannot afford to lose. Over the eons of human development, we are an elect minority that experience modern liberties, foremost of which is the right to question and critique. Anyone who would deem it ethical to silence another rather than engage in civil discourse, I declare to be a coward. Argument is the crucible through which the superior ideology is revealed, and when this crucible is removed, we open the door for overarching powers to declare the correct opinion without it being subject to dissent. We must not allow this Orwellian nightmare to come about. I say this because I hold opinions that may be very disagreeable to some, and under YouTube's current climate, I anticipate blowback. But I am committed and I will be heard. I'd like to end on a light note, so here. What is the difference between a feminist and a bomb vest? A bomb vest actually does something when it's triggered. And with that, I thank you sincerely for your time.